Hello everyone, and welcome back to my channel. My second reading of the day on the topic of men behaving badly. And please, any man who is watching this, don't feel insulted at all. Most of my readings are on women behaving badly. So it's your turn now. And Boris in particular's turn. Boris, of course, has just made a tearful apology to Her Majesty the Queen about Partygate, in particular that leaving do that they had at, I want to say Buckingham Palace. Of course not, in Downing Street, on the eve of Prince Philip's funeral. And of course, one of the most heartrending images of that funeral was of the Queen sitting alone in the chapel, no one around her, no one to comfort her, no one to console her, grieving alone for her husband, while, of course, unbeknown to us at the time and to her at the time, all manner of carousing going on with the politicians who represent Her Majesty in government. And so I want to do a reading using my Shadowland Tarot. I'll just pop the box in front of the camera again for those of you who are interested in these things. The Shadowland Tarot, my deck, in particular for people behaving badly. As I say, this channel is mostly about people behaving badly. Not normally about politicians behaving badly, but here we have Boris. I want to know how the Queen feels. So much going on that is so difficult for her at the moment. And of course, in the midst of the Prince Andrew drama, having to strip him of his titles and honours and his HRH, and the Prince Harry drama, Prince Harry now going to sue the government about his security concerns. And of course, the latest news that's just broken about Harry and Andrew losing their royal councillor status. In the midst of all of this, up pops Boris and Partygate, and it just blow after blow for the Queen. It has been full moon, a very intense full moon with the Sun conjunct Pluto in Capricorn, late Capricorn. Very, very difficult energy, very intense. Lots of things ending when Pluto is riding over you. You know all about it. Saturn is difficult. Pluto, by the time Pluto's finished with you, you're going through a difficult Pluto transit. You won't recognize yourself when you look in the mirror. And been there, done that. And particularly intense for someone like me who's a Scorpio. Capricorns have had it for a while now. And difficult times. And very interesting card that comes out as the underlying energy is death. That is the Pluto card. Death in reverse. Transformation, change, endings. And I have been reading reversals today. These two readings that I'm doing, the energy kind of matches. I'm using the same deck for them, short readings for once. But I have been reading reversals as meaning super intense energy of the card rather than an improvement of a negative energy. Reversals can always be read in various ways, and it's up to you as a reader to interpret them the best way that you feel, using your intuition and the keys, the clues around you from the cards around. But for me, this death card is saying absolute change needed. This deadwood needs to go. It's over. It's done. Boris, I think, is over and done. Don't think we need to do a tarot reading on that. We just have to watch the space. I'm sure it's coming. Boris is fighting desperately for his life here, but there is a death card. Endings, change, transformation. Pluto has done its work. It's been riding through Capricorn for a long time, and it's almost at the end of that journey through Capricorn, and it's wrapping up its business in Capricorn. And shiver in your booties if you have deep dark secrets and done naughty things that Pluto is unearthing in its journey through that sign. And that's not just a warning to Capricorns, that's a warning to everybody. So, heart of the matter, and we're reading from the Queen's point of view, the Devil in reverse. How interesting. Such strong negative cards coming out in this reading. Major Arcana, the Devil with the SOS there, and the town on the city on fire. The Devil, that's Partygate. The Devil. The Devil is toxic behavior. The Devil is addiction, lies, self-interest, materialism, as the country, the world even, because so many people from all over the world were so involved, so engaged emotionally in that very profound moment in our history, the passing of a man, no matter what may have gone on in some aspects of his private life and wherever, which are going to be raked over, unfortunately, I think, in the years to come. No matter about that, a giant of a man, of a statesman, of a true prince, a true husband, in the sense of supporting someone and helping them and being their champion and their comfort. While all of that was going on, there behind the scenes, Partygate, drinking, smuggling alcohol in, falling unconscious and just behaving disgracefully. That's toxic behavior, that's the devil, and it's in reverse. That is, as I keep saying for these readings today, it's extreme amounts of toxicity. It's unforgivable, it's unacceptable, it's disgraceful levels of toxic behavior and lies, because they lied. They lied to the public, and they lied to the Queen, seemingly, allegedly, and let's throw one of those in. And now, of course, Pluto has exposed all of their shenanigans, and judgment coming, I would say. Wouldn't be surprised to see judgment show up in this reading. I have got my eye on the Hanged Man, which is sitting looking at me from the bottom of this deck. The Hanged Man is the victim, is the culprit, is the scapegoat. We've got one dangling. We've got Boris dangling, waiting for the verdict, really. So how did the Queen feel whenever it was last April, if I'm remembering correctly? How did she feel then as she sat there alone? Eight of Cups. Sorrow. It's the card of terrible sorrow and wanting to put that sorrow behind, just to get through the day, to get through that very public morning, that exposure, the cameras on her. Can you imagine having to sit there in that level of grief with cameras on you, capturing your every move? I'm sure she was quite grateful for the mask that she had to wear that day. I would have been. But she just wanted to get away from that difficult situation and go and grieve in quiet on her own, walk away from it, while they were, of course, all carousing. How does she feel now, the Queen? How does she feel knowing what she knows now? How does she feel about it? And we get the Four of Pentacles in reverse, and that is quite an interesting card, because the Four of Pentacles is about stability. It's about a rock solid foundation, something that you can trust, something you can rely on, something that's dependable. You are building a foundation there with that, those pentacles. It's a little bit controlling, it's a little bit blocked. It can be quite a negative card. When it's in the reverse, it's letting go and chaos entering one's life, because you're heading towards the Five of Pentacles. You're heading towards massive change, and the Death card is the ultimate card of change. She feels like her world has been rocked by this, quite literally. It's a minor arcana card, but it's sitting with the Death card, and I really do think that she just feels like she can't trust anything anymore. She can't count on anyone anymore. I think she really liked Boris, and felt he was, he obviously comes from the kind of background that is very familiar to the Queen, Eton boy, all the rest of it, so familiar to her, and yet he has betrayed her, he has disappointed her, and I think she just really feels very destabilized, and I saw that in the readings I did on Andrew the other day, that she really feels vulnerable and weakened. And so what's going on behind the scenes right now? A message is going from Buckingham Palace to say get rid. Three of Wands, waiting. The waiting card. I think literally waiting. Possibly waiting for a phone call. Just what I get from that card. It is the waiting card. You're normally waiting for results of something that you have done, something positive, a positive energy you have sent out into the world to expand a project, grow something, develop something, and you're waiting for the results to come back, positive results. But I would say waiting for a phone call. Interesting. And the outcome. for Boris. Boris behaving badly. Well, he's at 0. He is going to be starting a whole new journey. The Fool card, the Seeker, it's called in this Shadowland Tarot. The Seeker is starting a new journey. He's lost his head. And my working title for this reading was Off with His Head. Boris, gonna lose his head. He's off. He's going to be starting a whole new journey, starting from scratch, starting somewhere new, major arcana. And as I say, I don't really need to do a tarot reading to come up with this, but it's very interesting to me how these cards are dialing into the energy and coming up with, I would say, a very accurate depiction of what is going on right now. So Boris, pack your suitcase and get on the phone. That's the reading. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you tomorrow.